Hey there, Shrine Runners! Hello, and welcome to the Fox Shrine. I'm Araxis, your host, and tonight I'm going to be playing some Limbus Company. Hey there, Kuro. Welcome. Hope you're all doing alright. Give me a quick moment. There we are. Alright. Yeah, hopefully everyone's doing well. It's not Super Robot Wars tonight, it is Limbus Company, because there is a new Intervallo out, and we need to finish that. More importantly, I need to finish that. I need to finish that before I can get spoiled on it. Because I've already seen like a few possible spoilers for it, and I need to make sure that I don't run into any more. Alright? Alright, loud and understood. So, without further ado, let's get into the game, shall we? Hey, thank you very much for the, that's a 50 stream watch streak. Well done. Alright. Anyway, let's go, shall we? Alright. So, I'm back on my desktop computer, so hopefully things will be alright. But do let me know if there are any issues. Actually, before we kick things off, let's go. We need to do some rolling, I think. We need to do some rolling because we want to try and get the Kira announcer. I want her. Let's we'll do a little bit, shall we? Let's see what happens. Alright, nothing there. Still nothing, it looks like. What was it saying here? Do not affect 3-star IDs. Gotcha, I understand. Alright. Let's see if I can get luckier with Kira than I was with Alco. Oh, there's something shiny.
거칠고 야만적이라고 할 땐 언제고 왜들 이렇게 무너먹지? 화나기라도 한 것처럼.
There we go. All right. So, we got the Ring Falvist Rodion for this, which is important because that's going to boost our event currency, and because this is the event character. So nice, lovely. All right.
불꽃으로 수놓은 이 별무리 속에 데려다드릴 수는 없어도 그러나 별빛으로 만들어드릴 수는 있답니다.
I didn't actually notice that we got ourselves an ego as well. That's quite nice. I've not looked too much into this one because it's a Faust He ego, but apparently this one is quite nice when you're using Ada Blossom Star Faust. Because I think it like takes away like her ability to kill herself, which is quite lovely. Now, let's continue doing some extracting, shall we? Come on, announcer. What did we end up getting there? We got Roger again. I suppose she is on rate up, right? But we're trying to get Healer. Oh, that's shiny. That's actually quite shiny right there. Okay, didn't get what we want. Got Baba, Roger again, and Ting Tang Honglu. Alright. Alright, nothing there. That's a spot. Fancy Maso. Alright. If I get over in the next one, I think we will just proceed. Okay. I know people like watching other people gacha, but I also want to play the story. How much should we do? Halfway. Alright. Halfway to guarantee. We can always do that later. That's cool though that you can sort of choose to grab the others. Because I don't have all of these. Honestly, even if I do grab Kira, I'm probably going to go all the way to 200. Alright. Anyway. We need to replace you with you. Hold on. This was... it's not the right team. It's a Rapture team. Alright, over here, we need to replace over there. I'm gonna take you out. Like, I sharded you, because I think I grabbed... Whatever, I manually grabbed, like, you a little bit ago. I haven't had a chance to level you up. And unfortunately, we are going to have to move out Ujat Otis in favor of Ring Otis. Now, don't be deceived by the fact that Ring Otis is just a 2-star. She is actually quite good. Okay. There we are. Alright. And as for what I want to do here... I'll go with you for now. But we will consider what we want to do later. Do let me know if you want me to up-tie the ring characters. We can do that on stream. But otherwise, like, are we set for the reward exchange in terms of enough ring characters for the event bonus? So 40% into 20%, so 80%, because we don't have either of them. But we can get you through the reward exchange, I believe. It is 1,000, but yeah, we can get there. Alright. So, let's proceed, shall we? So, funeral. Oh shit, yeah. We have lost a few people in the previous canto. Yeah. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed many people gathered in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Hey, Cat Dad! How you going? Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Maso, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions or pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. Ishmael always telling people, like, hey, they provided us with documentation. Why didn't you guys read this? Please, just read the instructions. This is important. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Why do you keep doing this to me? I am stressed out here. Just read the fucking manual. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. That's an improvement for you, Roger. Like you never, I don't think you ever got to page 30 before. That's honestly that's a pretty big manual. If there's more than 30 pages. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead? Bereft of the dead? Someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Oofy Association's notarization otherwise. I've said this time and again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... Yep, that's right. It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, Manager. Oh, it's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory, as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we'd just check in on each other's memories every now and then. God damn it, the game's already getting me crying, like, at the very, fucking start of it. Oh, and thank you, Ada, for clipping that. I do appreciate it. Honestly, I'm with Ishmael. People should read the fucking manual. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Dean Heathcliff running on a rampage, and that kindly guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will. I assumed that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No. Well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Guess they're the sort to just throw people's bodies into the woods or something, right? Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. I know Hohenheim's voice doesn't sound like that, but we gave him that voice back in the Limbus checkup event, so he's maintaining the Professor Frink voice. And corporations are not eager to grant time-offs just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land or erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died. And after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Ah, yes, sweeping the streets. Or better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere, just to have that stir up a lot of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? Or, you know, or rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, all that rot. Better to let dead go in peace, and bury them in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. In Hongwan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Oh, Diose foolishness! All of it! Comforting the soul of the departed? Another mendacity. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Yeah, funerals can be really expensive. There has been like a funeral recently in my family that did ring up like a ridiculously huge expense due to the rites required for it. But like, who's to say if that's not important to the family around them, right? As well as the deceased's like comfort. Like, sure, they may no longer be with us anymore, but you still like want something to remember them by, right? And like they're probably going to be comforted knowing that they're going to be like taken care of afterwards as well. Obviously varies between different people, of course. Those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? Yeah, Hohenheim is like a wet cat. Like, this guy is seriously depressed. Like, he is super upset about Martin's death, about all the other researchers, considering his experiences with Lobotomy Corporation. Like, he's saying this stuff, but he doesn't believe it. Whichever was the truth. I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence. followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. I'm glad Alyssa still, managed to survive. I really thought she was going to die when she activated Ada Blossom right at the end. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, and that's the end of their existence, with the crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh. We're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Ah. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there is no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. So, you won't be leaving just yet. No. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Guess they want to do some research on his future self. Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project. Which means what I'm telling you is more a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself, Raven. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swab or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No! I'm not giving you my consent! For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. You have no idea. We had to get Boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. The least you could do is thank us. Thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time. Researchers are here. Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was to offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. Well, what about you? You not going with them? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. Always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book. Marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, It's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and whisked, well, carried, really, him away. All right, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Oh, got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with their experiments. We can trust Ishmael to prevent anything fishy from happening. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. The sitters fanned out in different directions. They seemed to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who'd been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. She's got to get an autograph! And follow him around, be his sidekick or something. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Is she accessing the Gesellschaft? You seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There is something I had intended to discuss with you and Senna Ryoshu. A matter that requires your assistance. You want to study the sword? What kind of assistance? WKOA says CH. Wait a minute. Did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? Oh no. What kind of assistance says Clockhead? Oh, nice. It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause, as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with her relentless questioning. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now, listen closely! The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bowl. You there! Why don't you join us too? Dost thou speak of me? The LCCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote and her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vesper's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble Yellow Harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? Ah, Ah, Hmm. For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. That is assistant number 2. Ah, Heathcliff being number 1. You are number 2. Who does number 2 work for? I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the Yellow Harpoon. But no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. What may I be? How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to sitter number 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, ho! That is indeed a simple task. However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Or you could ask Dante. Relay the manager's words, not Thinner Ryoshu's. It's reminding me a little bit of Hot Fuzz, the part where they're speaking with that farmer with the unexploded naval mine or something like that in his shed. They have to have several different interpreters. They are asking you what kind of assistance you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstance is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located at the House of Spiders. I deemed that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sinner number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? HOSRA. You have assisted enough. You could, Faust. I feel like Yoshi's deliberately trolling here now. Like that smile on her face. Sorry, excuse me for a moment. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. The one survivor, Kira, who we still need to get the announcer for. Kira, she has regained consciousness. I like Kira, she's fun. I guess we're gonna... That's going up high. I guess we're gonna be going upwards, perhaps? Anyway, survivor. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. Yeah, she kind of got... What was it? Did she get cut in half? Or, like, stabbed through the middle? Like, something along those lines. This place looks well-equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Cut in half. Gotcha. Thank you, Ada. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process, while keeping the cost reasonable. Yeah, cut in half. That sounds about right, given what Faust is saying there. Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. Looks like she's got a scar over there as well. I don't think she had that before. Yeah, that if she was like bisected in that direction, like that is a lot of damage, because that's basically like your intestines and kidneys as well, right? Like that is a not insignificant part of your body and your spine as well. Oof, all right. For someone recovering from bisection, didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the sinner's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along the progress of the extraction? It hasn't yet begun, actually. We are waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. And what you even doing here? There is work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass time. I mean, if you're a good girl, like we'll give you some comics. That's a good like bargaining chip, right? And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes, Ivan. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he'd traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. Ah, so you anticipated some form of a corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that unlike your typical backstreet syndicate such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle. These two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. You've got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? What do you want about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. Who's this nerdlinger? I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying. You know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No. Disregard that. That, too, was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished playing its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that. To aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. Little sacrifice ain't a thing in a family. Family. From him. Middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous, even to you? That's... thrown out? That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me being his brat. Not surprising, it's the ST for the bowl cut too. Same thing. Same tastes. Oh, young Ryoshu, could it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for fix? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. That's right, Don Quixote's here. I think she got that completely wrong. So, what exactly is your point? And to remind people, the reason why Matthias was exiled from the middle is because he killed his brother and sister in order to get that sword. He covered up the evidence, so they didn't have definitive proof, but like everyone basically knew that it was him, so like he was basically exiled to the House of Spiders as a result. That stuff sort of got revealed in like the character description for Matthias. I can't recall if I happened to find that on stream or not, because it happens in the second fight, like in the final fight with them. But like it's also like when you've already like looked at their skills, so you're less inclined to look again. So a little bit hidden. Point is, you're taking too long. You can't decide whether you want to live or die. I can shorten the hesitation. CQ, or I'll SYNC right this instant. What's that mean? Cooperate quietly, or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. SYNC isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. So crappy. Whatever. I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. That actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. Ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking weird-ass abbreviations? Like, SYNC? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't bother to reply, and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? To her? We're probably people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the Middle's sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that should bite us? Besides... No. Better hear it from her instead. Hey. Tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That because... Well... because Papa was weaker than you all. Yeah. You're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face. But at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who'd been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. You will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. We could have Kira as a backup character. It sounds like she's going to be weaker than she was as a boss fight because, like, half her tattoos have been removed. And I don't know if the book sort of grants, like, any sorts of, like, abilities or anything. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if their Book of Grudges has that power to it. But the tattoos definitely, so it's gonna be like at least half strength. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. You won't be able to use it without authorization. A code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Oh, alright, first combat mission. Wayfarer. Within 10 turns, no worries. So we get 7th thread from this. Something has severed this thread, snapping it into strands. Truly there is no such thing as an existence in complete homogeneity with another. Slicing a single thread reveals that it is in fact a twine of multiple fibers. When a thread is severed, it leaves not 2 separate threads, but a multitude of frayed strands. From this, we may learn that time, indeed, does not cure all wounds. The passage of time only unravels the frayed strands further, leaving weeping wounds that never heal. Alright, so let's go with this battle. Gregor is still out of action, unfortunately. So let's see.
내 작품 또 보고 싶었나 봐.
소재가 준비됐어?
Who do we want to go with? Okay.
맞군.
Yeah, right now we got a fairly decent team. Do I want to deploy you outright, or
맞군.
go with that? I think. Yeah, we'll do that.
군주가 나선다.
나를 점 찍었다. 내 작품.
소재가 준비됐어?
Alright, let's go with this. Also, let's just level. Just level them. I'm just gonna level them anyway, so. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so we'll up-tie them later.
내 명을 들은 시비수 결집이다.
Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed, but Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Prithee! Who might those people thither be? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. Are these from W Corp, perhaps? Like the W Corp cleaners? I mean, they know how to clean up this sort of shit, right? This is Team Leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company? W Corp. A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Ah, alright. So this is what we were talking about before, huh? This is the company that wants to take on the W. Like Limbus company seems it wants to take a Lobotomy Corporation's former nest, whereas we're working together with the company that does the portals that take us back to the base. So, all right. It seems like they've got like cleaners as well, I guess. Anyway, our employees also have taken to calling you the new L Corp. Something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember. That company vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free-falling at this point. And these are the manager and the sinners of the LCB department, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operation units... oh, sorry, we got our ad break here. So we'll take a brief pause here, and we will resume in a couple of minutes, okay? Be right back. All right, and we're back. So, let's proceed, shall we? I understand. Field operation units are almost always understaffed anyway. What you've provided is more than sufficient. I wonder, like, when they eventually come back to this and voice it, like, how is Alan going to sound? Is their voice going to be muffled? Or like robotic in some way, or what? Anyway. Oh, there we go. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Actually looks kind of cute. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Alright. Words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your product, and the profits were nothing short of staggering. I heard... Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public, but what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. I do enjoy it when Faust just, like, ignores what we said and puts words in our mouth. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role that Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. Oh, it's the best job for stupid Faust, right? She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question, while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He is referring to the Monolith Sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now, I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them, if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo-Unk in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but... Farm? Oh, it's... gathering materials? I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that? She'd come back holding piles of them. So, they're probably connected to some backstreets area. The backstreets? Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. really all I've got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. He was starting to look like angry, but I didn't expect him to like go ahead and punch her. Jeez, all right. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact, the chain of action was there, but it didn't look normal. Is Alan thinking with portals, perhaps? Did you just hit me? Not even my father hit me! What the hell's wrong with? As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. What matter of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team leader Alan, that sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. I mean, yeah, the middle would, like, punch that guy's head in, I assume. He gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So freaking annoying! Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. Punch just now, though. What was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. Dinner, Ryoshu. Give Manager Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left. I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But IH and I, where they actually lead. It's all blurry. Have no idea. It seems that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We know now that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. It's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past these doors. Interesting. So I wonder if Wayfarer Company, like, if they've got something, like, given that they're using the word backdoor, like, that reminds me of computers. So, like, finding a backdoor into a system in order to get to places that you're not supposed to. Like, that, in essence, like, also works with their use of portals, too. So, like, maybe they have a way to, like, render the city into code or something? I'm not sure. Probably find out more about them later, but that's where my mind is sort of, like, going at the moment. Alright then. I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Sinaryoshi mentioned. You don't trust me at all, huh? Why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon, an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay. Let's see what's in there. And this will take us into the Falvest area, I'm guessing. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermied animals. Not like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit! This game is just insane! That's the whale from 8th Association Great Lakes Special Issue! What, 8th Association? Like, we got the 7, but wouldn't they use different? Like, there's only like one from each language, right? Anyway, Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Oh, man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're not. Duh. Though Robo did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, that would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything is dead. Meh. It looks crazy sick though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horned display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, there's a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Like, normally Don Quixote would be into the same sort of thing, right? Don Quixote? The eye of a second kindred of House Tepes. What is it doing here? Yeah, going into Sancho mode, huh? Also, House Tepes, like that's just flat out a Dracula reference. At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things. Starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. Yeah, so we can see the eyeball over there, and yeah, there's a hand. Not sure if we're seeing like human bones or anything. That looks like an animal's hoof or something there. But, It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with the Maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning towards the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, he found strange figures wearing animal masks, staring directly at us. Ladies and gentlemen, those of non-binary finery, welcome to Anthrocon. I don't like papas. No way! Not a raid boss we can clear at our level, but we gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers, who wore a peculiar bone mask, stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal parts curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. Stray little spiderling, fallen from a parent's web. How many years has it been? You. Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation, tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocious, yet cavernously resonating howling. Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon, praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right. Emile Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. I only remember you as tactility of hides and guts, paid for a possible AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshi was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro, talking about his various artworks. But I have a feeling she was, in fact, dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. Lockdown sequence thing. How much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim! The lockdown sequence! Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members an incensed glare sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. Alright, so not proudly announcing it to everyone, just being sensible. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make this for a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like glass grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Aria Shiki. I was going to try using it anyway. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling him that we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Faust is right. He and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Aria Shiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Locke. Think of that woman as Lei Hung, and do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right. That's probably our best shot. Oh, is Benoit a lady then, huh? Alright, fair enough. Getting tricked by Project Moon again. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the Golden Bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, and catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. Cut from the Aria Shiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the Maestro long enough to give us time to get away. The floor of this exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some possible ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Valvism. And mine. The gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here. A masterless one at that. Acquiring the Alaya Shiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste... Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? Lock, the house spiders used to bind the Aria Shiki no longer exists. But why? I don't think we've ever seen her surprised like that before. Why can't I draw the blade? Now, that's unexpected. So, the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? The Maestra only gave a loose swing of her arm, and it was enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. wound looked like nothing more than a light gash. The Maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Yoshi's arm and her own, though the attack had been an experiment, prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student, and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales, why? It's lamentably disappointing. The Maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty. It seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I could admire their structural refinement. The thrice-coiled ring on her ring finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo, with a sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The Maestro plunged her arm into the long serpentine body of a monster. The sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of the Nurse Fathers, only more primal and untempered. You know what the Falvists remind me of a bit? Nero Chaos from Tsukihime. What with like taking on all these different aspects of animals. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute to go. Step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion. The one who intercepted the blow... Shit! Was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with its still sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart that I wasn't aware of? Shit! This wasn't the plan at all! Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. The look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, or someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member. You've inked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Aha. You must be the new kid Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? If I know! I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it! Oh, they're definitely gonna ditch me here. Oh, why did they even... Must be instinct taking over. fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. So, the behavioral faucet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Shut it, mister! Yapping and let me use my blades. Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerge from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The Maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but... Huh? 'Tis a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel! Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages! Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off his trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the Maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. It's alright, she'll come back. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone, to the door! Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of Sinner 3. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Called it for real. That's exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat, though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. Such a dumbass! What was I thinking diving in like that? You! Don't just stand there! Get over here now! Huh? But these guys gotta come flooding in if I... QTTM want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay! Blocking the Maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead. But... Lockdown sequence complete! All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the Maestro could cross over. Bolt cut. Think you can still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says. I do like Ryoshu's smiles. Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case... Guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so? Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever... Hang on, I just need to finish this bite. One. To me! Summoning powers initiated.
세피라들도 결국 내 편에 설 수밖에 없을 거야. 나도 그들도 모두 빛의 눈이 멀어버렸거든.
Yep, so we've used Malkuth's Reign over here to bring them in.
기다려 주시게. 마법의 삐삐님이 전해주는 지령을 해석이 조금.
Alright, so, yeah, we have Kira now. She has been depowered as expected. I like over here. LCE? Maybe? Alright. Yeah, so time for some warm-up. Augmented tattoos. Grudge. Yeah, okay. Get back. The thermal weapon. Got the middle crossed out. Resentment. And further. Alright. Anyway. Let's go check out these Falbus students. We got feral and impulsive students. Okay. Artwork preparation. Target does not have mold colored blur. Flash power +1. Unique sinking, huh? When hit, gain 1 sinking potency for every 3 stacks. Turn and 5+ stacks lose 5 SP. Turn and lose 1 stack. If the middle uses their tattoos for self-augmentation, does that make the rings tattoos more brands that, when forcibly applied, weaken their enemies? Alright, so sinking and bleed. Alright. Yep, some coins there. Mold color. Got a fair few moves. Okay, so clashable counter over here. This is what's inflicting mold color, huh? Alright. Yeah. Oh, instant +3 sinking count as well, huh? Okay. And just inflicts mold color with any skill, not just that other one, huh? Alright. 1 haste next turn for every 4 inflicted. Okay. And they do have unclashable. The red coins. There are beasts that fall in and out of vogue within the school of Valvism, yes. But a true artist must take fierce pride in that single animal as the underdrawing, which best represents their unique self. Despite this wisdom, however, there are some who flit from beast to beast, as though the self is nothing more than a costume to be worn and discarded. Yeah, they're spirit animal. Alright. As we sort of said before, they're furries. Okay. If target has mold color... Yeah, okay. Fragile. Understood. And the impulsive ones, these guys do rouge instead, which is bleed instead of sinking. Makes sense. I suppose they both do sinking and bleed, and they're opposites. Okay. Turn and defense level down for every 4 stacks. Some say that the ring's paint is made from the same base materials as augmentation tattoos. They are both nigh indelible pigments that take considerable effort to erase, let alone bleach. Okay. Paint and unfurl, change to unbreakable. You don't have the same one there, huh? Okay. So, the first step is always but a single animal. And with every quest for art and verity, another beast is layered atop the previous specimen. Okay. Oh, when this unit is killed, inflict 3 rouge on 2 random enemies. Understood. Alright. Anyway, let's proceed, shall we? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Hold on. Ooh, yellow. Yeah, we want that. Might go with this in order to try and activate Blood Flame. This will give us some Blood Flame, and I don't want to sort of like waste that, so I'm going to do that. Use that, and let's go with Bang Bang for now.
예측할 수 없게.
There we go.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
Oh, here goes Kira. Get in there.
공포에 사로잡혀 바닥을 기는 모습은
How much enemies?
어디서나 별반
10.
차이가
Okay.
없네.
Yeah, she's going at it. All right. So I'll go with that. And yeah, full bloom. You're yellow again, right? Yeah, okay. Yellow again. Over here. With this. There, and there. Alright. I just need one more pairing with Ishmael,
바이올렛.
and we'll be able to use her big attack.
태어난 곳으로 돌아가라.
관리자님은
펜.
그래도 어디에 묻은 듯처럼 직원들을 사지로 내몰진 않아요.
이미 우리는 손에 많은 피를 묻혔잖아. 몇명
회복 탄환을 쏠 거라면 미리 말해라.
How do you...
저번처럼 말 없이 쏘면 또 검집으로 쳐내버릴 테니.
One stack of takes... This unit takes sinking damage. Armor burst. How we sort of get enough petals, right? Yeah, petals if the enemy takes sinking. Right, we need some tremor burst on this team, I think, so that we can get engage this more. All right, understood. No worries.
회복
Yeah,
탄환을
she's very
쏠
much
거라면
sinking
미리
in tremor.
말해라.
Yeah, alright.
저번처럼 말 없이 쏘면
Okay, over
또
here.
검집으로
Yellow
쳐내버릴
again?
테니.
I don't have any more yellows, damn it. Alright, guess we're not using that. Okay. Yeah, over here. Pick that up. With that. You go with that. There we go.
좋아해. 지령에게 불확실한 것은 없네.
Alright. There we go, there's our red. Alright. Yeah, good night, Kuro. Hope you sleep well. There. I really like when she activates her, that build. It can get quite nice when Kozan activates.
아, 아이, 놀랐네. 담배 떼차서. 만지는 줄 알았어. 빨리 좀 어디 있느냐? 그러지. 그것은 진지하게 갖다 써야지. 별로 어려울 것도 없잖아.
징계팀에서 다 망가뜨린 줄 알았는데 멀쩡한 전투가 남아있었나?
스킬 지식에 매뉴얼을 만들어두길 잘했네. 그렇게만 해.
Alright, so just got you left, huh? Well, let's just have at it then.
하고들 시간이다. 잔우에. 호, 제 행위고. 그렇군. 무상이다. 무타패거드 이제야 좀 이해. 태어난 곳으로 돌아가라.
미래를 과거와 같이
있는 힘껏 찔러놓고 으껴놨지만 저것들은 언젠가 다시 재생하겠지. 내
Only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be infrequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, I wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why did you drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust me? Weirdos. We would have opened them all at the end of the day. SD. SD? What's that? Same difference. Yeah, Ryoshi's got a point. Like, we were going to open them all at the end of the day, so doesn't matter. Like, we would have opened your door regardless. It was just so that we could get to know what's on the other side. And we have to go with that one first. Again? Why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's W-A. Huh? Good work, everyone. A Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Valvists won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf, Clock. And those Valvist beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know many backdoors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Yoshi was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. Huh? They could always rush for a surprise attack, though. Even that Valvist Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the events that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Yoshi lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching, ever so slightly. Hey, Infernal, how you going? Should or will. Yeah, about the, back doors, huh? I mean, we are certainly trusting Wayfarer, our company, with these back doors, but I mean, as a company that aspires to be the new W Corp, I have to expect that they've got their own sort of like tricks and techniques. To be fair, like Alan could just be hedging his bets. Perhaps they just want to make sure that their arse is covered, essentially, for any unexpected situations. But yeah, we'll have to see how things go. That quivering most faint was seen by all, indeed. I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshi's gaze lingered on the sword, before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshi? Do you... Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? Like a sacred sword? It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword. Okay. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Oh, please, feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility, then? No, that won't be necessary. There is a facility here that should prove more than adequate. Alright, then. Well, I guess we'll, go and see what we want to do there.
모처럼 괜찮은 예술을 보나 했더니 벌써 목, 애를 전부 채웠군.
Yeah, so we got
방지를
those.
사고도 해야 할 뒤처리도 없나.
Okay.
돌아가지.
So before I forget, I might want to change Maso over from Hornet. Oh, this is Burn and Bleed over to Thumb. Because you have Tremor Burst, don't you? Yeah, you do have Tremor Burst. Okay. So we'll put you down so that we can sort of like have a bit more synergy with Ryoshu over there. We've got our break at the moment, so we're going to pause here for a few minutes, and then we'll resume the game. Okay? Let me just let's pull up the music at least, shall we? Okay, be right back. All right, and we're back. So let's resume Limbus Company, shall we? Relics and the Sign. Oh, have we got some info about what's going on with Sinclair? Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following Operation Spiderpire. It did not exist prior to the House's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Regular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him. The same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long would the examination take? Well, with Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means that it should be finished in an hour from now at the latest. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Oh, time to get Sinclair then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was a Vesper Crabro, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Oh no. Has what's her face like played a prank on him? Snack thief? Ah, manager. Charon's snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them. Oh no, it was Charon! It was Charon's snacks! It wasn't... what's her name from the LCD department? It was Charon. Steal her snacks, Mr. Stringbean. Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding. Berg, kick his ass. Oh no, Charon's pissed. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Charon also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Charon, super sulky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day. Oh no. Deploying super pass bitter candy. Beep beep. Mode disabled. I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Charon forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Julius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Charon peeled the snack thief sign off Vesper's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left. Such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vesper gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute! I was saving that for later! I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know! Yet I still see you gobbling up my share. He took my snack too, Berg. Kick his ass. Rodion Romanovic. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well. Y'all knows how to eat good, alright? Chill! That's totes being agreed upon, okay? Sides. That's that, and this is this! Oh no, she said the thing! She said the thing, everyone! Wrap it up! Stream over! Alright, see you later, everyone. That's that, and this is this. Alright. Let's get back to the game. It's not the first time a sinner has said this as well, by the way. This one's a little. The other one is a little bit more hidden. This one is during the warp train event. In the description for the sub boss, I believe Gregor has a in the notes description that you see when you click on them and click on the file for the character. He says like that's that and this is this. The lines on Vigilius's brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches, and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my tick-tocks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers. Nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables, such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. Thank you for the clip, Ada. By individuals bearing signs, you mean people like Demian and Sanson? Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonya? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Roger gets the blues. I swear Roger's gonna distort at some point. Like at all these special people around her and her not being special. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then? Right. Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, you know, those layers of light rings Demian used to finish off Chroma, or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it. Aye, that doth seem plausible. So, none of that is information we can confirm yet. correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present. This is, at best, grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. I see. Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway? No, I mean... I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think? So, did anything happen that we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, small sin sample. Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return? No. I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Faust said that they only exist with my future self, so... Wait, but my future self to even have those memories? Shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem. In such a case, that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course, trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that theory suggested? Hey, Wolf! How you going? That is indeed Araxis! I am they. How you going? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Oh, here you go again. More of that nonsense only you will understand. Memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? Shit, that sucks, Volf. Yeah, definitely take it easy. I've had COVID twice, I think. I've had COVID twice. Thankfully, they were mild symptoms when I had it. But you definitely want to look after yourself because of the whole sort of like lack of like oxygen in your blood and shit like that. And try and take it easy because you don't want to sort of like fall down with like long COVID or anything like that. That's definitely a worry that I've got. I know a few people have sort of like suffered some like bad like long COVID symptoms, like sort of like sapping their energy. And I already don't have enough energy, alright? I already don't have enough energy. So like having long COVID on top of that would absolutely suck. and I would not wish that on others. So yeah, definitely take it easy, and take it easy a bit further after as well, just in case. So like a week and a bit. Good you get free vaccines because of work, so it's quiet. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, here I got free vaccines as well, because like Australia sort of like provided it. I think I've had all of my COVID vaccines. Can't remember if it was like 4 or 5 or something. Like they said to have. I don't know. Maybe next time I sort of like check in with the doctor, I should go and confirm that. But yeah, I try to stay up to date on things like that. Actually, I should probably go and get a flu shot. Winter's coming up soon. Like, even if I'm going to be spending part of winter in the northern hemisphere, I should still get that done. Especially if I'm going like overseas, like airports and shit. Yeah, I should look into getting my flu shots done. Okay. But yeah, glad things are going quiet for you. Glad you got your vaccines. Then some part of him's got to be left there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps you can still pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? You kicked off proper out there. Even pulled out that trick you picked up from that bastard old geezer, right? Just that. He was using that Mang technique quite effortlessly too. What? Oh, that glowing ring thing? Yep. The glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them coiled around his weapon. He used the glowing ring thing? That's the scientific name for Mang. Glowing ring thing. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. Anything about it. All right. So, what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura that makes you real tough is one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? Yeah, I'm admittedly a little bit unclear about Mang as well, except more rings equals more power. Dunno. Could be a secret finger thing that they pass down to their members? Technique, gear, something like that. Look at that black Coney leader, that Lei Hong prick, and the nurse fathers we fought. A lot of them's fingers, ain't they? I mean, the Indigo Elder isn't. The notion seems to unravel, for even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius, too. So, what? Only the proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the thinners slowly turn their gaze towards Virgilius and Vesper. Vesper's still eating. I only learned to wield it from my team leader too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin. I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. Rumors? They circulate among elite fixers and association leadership. That there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor among fixers, sayest thou? Yes. Even the technique to manifest it. How-to tips, really. Spread through hearsay. Oh, yeah! That tracks. That super rookie column in the latest Mag bonus vid? Bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura found with a shiny Mang wrapped around the weapon. It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, are you serious? It's in the latest issue! Literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it? Video? Tape? Alas! For many a week have I been stranded from Nephi, relieving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe is me! When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, a gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the mantle of Shin granted its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. We can't withstand firepower of that magnitude! It's a trap! Alright. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And, depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. Ah, alright. You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appears to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strength itself has no bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the yellow harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vesper's brows visibly twitched the moment yellow harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. The yellow harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. Got those yellow straps on his clothes and uses a harpoon too. Can he argue with that? If we were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Sung's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? Because you're the weakest of everyone. Well, cause you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Oh no, Yi Sang's fainted. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Oh, shame that. Would have been useful. Let me just quickly go over that. Yeah, so as sinners, limited. Unless we have an identity that wields Shin. Yeah, gotcha. Story events. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and and asked, as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Yeah, I think she had tattoos on her torso before as well, right? Because I mentioned that half of her tattoos had been removed. I think, yeah. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any shin or mung. Papa never taught me how to use it. You always said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that. It wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him will be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Yeah, everything was about him. Matthias was a very self-centered person. Even if it looked like he was being like superficially nice to people that he cared about, like Kira, like Yoshihide, that was all about what he could sort of get about them, in regards to them. Like people to like pay attention to him, like people he could dote on for his own reasons. He doesn't believe that he is guilty for killing others, like killing his friends and comrades, his brothers and sisters, to get what he wants. Vesper's responses always come back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turned to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal. Closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line, and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilius said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. He murdered scores of LCE researchers. Left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, they're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshi returned. All right. Let's see what's going on, shall we? Renketsuan, eh? Alright. Well, let's go over here and see what we can find out. To present the conclusion first, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Alright. Permanently manifested ego for Ryoshu, huh? Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshu's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow, felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. I mean, it could also be like Araya, right? Like her soul sort of like living on within the scabbard, which is sort of like resonating there. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable, and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero, given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of the lay people like yourselves, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread. Something that could lead to restoring Sinner Ryoshu's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nonetheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, slamming his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories that he'd constructed in our conversation. Alright then. Before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that had been intently listening in on our conversation. Where are we to go? Right. Sorry. Forgot the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war, executive manager? I don't think Kira understood us necessarily, but maybe we were like gesturing to Faust, Don Quixote, and Ryoshu at the time. So, We talking about me? Or maybe she wasn't like making an expression or anything, and Dante just happened to like remember Kira like on their own. Yeah, I guess. I'm working with them too, yeah. Just remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatevs. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, he didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight to the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, Executive Manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, Executive Manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone your concerns about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. You have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command. This cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. No, in this case, we are legitimately inviting Otis along. Although there was that time back in T Corp where Dante did not pick Otis to be part of the investigation team. She was really, really depressed about that. Oh, not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. It was a bit dodgy, that. Better I stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. Haha, I don't think I can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. I will follow if that is your order, Manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. But now, I should go see Alan again. Alright, there we go. So it's spiraling down over here. And Saru, huh? Monkey. Anyway, let's grab that. And looking at the time, I think we will wrap things up here for the night. It is getting close to midnight. Probably going to go overtime doing this one. I get the feeling that's going to be a little bit longer than Renkitsuan. And I do have work in the morning as well. But it's alright, we're going to be doing more of this tomorrow. So, thank you very much as always for tuning in. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. I have actually prepared my schedule for the coming week. Tomorrow is Limbus Company. Tuesday, Limbus Company. Wednesday is also going to be Limbus Company if we haven't finished by then, or else it's going to be 100 Line. So basically just consider the next 3 days Limbus Company followed by the 100 Line. After that, I'm going to take a couple of days break, and then the weekend we should be doing Super Robot Wars T on both days. Alright? So a little bit of a packed schedule. So hopefully I've got the energy to go through with it all. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. So, let's go and find something to raid, shall we? Alright. Let's see, who is streaming what right now? Let's see. Alright. Okay. Let's go and raid Toreshi-chan, who is playing some Sims 4 at the moment. That seems like it could be fun. Absolutely innocent game where nothing horrible happens at all. Where people do not torment their Sims. It's just a happy life sim, right? Anyway. Thank you very much as always. I'll see about getting my schedule posted up since I did prepare my schedule in advance this time. Yeah. See you all next time. Okay? Bye.